their victim, but I don't believe in ghost stories, so we're gonna cross it anyway.
We missed nice ghost story.
This bridge looks. See? I mean, it doesn't look cursed. What's the worst that could possibly happen?
No. Don't cross your fingers. Don't cross both of them.
Huh. Told you it was safe. Anyways.
I wonder how it does that.
Oh, would you look at that? I see some red clay pits. Elephants love to eat red clay. It gives them a lot of vitamins and minerals they may not get elsewhere in their diet. I'm actually seeing quite a few fresh tusk marks here, and I think I can make out some footprints leading off through the little lap. Oh, there's actually a few elephants over there. Hold on. Let's get a little bit closer. Now, a herd of elephants like this is going to consist of females and their children. They'll be led by the matriarch, the largest, oldest, and wisest of the females. Elephants like that first one we saw, bull elephants, they're usually kicked out of the herd, and they'll either live by themselves or in small bachelor herds. Now it looks like a few of these elephants are approaching the pond up ahead, the watering hole, so I'm going to try and get us a closer view of them over there.
That's the slowest moving thing. Oh, look at the baby.
Now our wardens estimate that baby in front of us is only about 1.5 years old, and for an elephant that's still very young. Elephants have the second longest childhood in the entire animal kingdom. Their childhood lasts about 13 to 15 years. The only childhood longer than that is a human childhood, lasting about 18 to 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 years or so.
Oh, that's a
So
very...
what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull forward a bit. That way you can maybe see the baby and her mother, and the elephant back to our left here.
I thought you said they were
Now,
fake.
elephants enjoy water, they enjoy getting wet, but sometimes the rain can be a bit much for them. If it's ever raining too heavy out here, they'll actually go into the water to avoid it. So while elephant skin is very thick, it's still very sensitive, and so it probably ends up tickling them. Now, here on our left are two very different types of birds. The little white birds with the orange hooked bills. Those are white ibis, they're just vacationing here, pay no attention to them. Tall pink birds, though, those are greater flamingos, some of the biggest flamingos in the world. If you see them with their neck on their back and a leg up in the air, that really is how they sleep. If you see them with their face in the water, upside down, bobbing back and forth, that's how they filter feed for the shrimp they eat. And a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. So we're looking at a fluffy feathered flamboyance of fabulous flamingos. And then, of course, yeah, one last look at those elephants over there, including the baby who's trying to stay dry under her mother.
If I was to do that, Mom would be like, get off me, it's
Now,
too
this area
confident.
here is famous for its white rhinoceros sightings. With any luck, oh, we'll get to see him right over there.
Oh
Now,
no,
don't worry,
I
despite
don't
being
want...
a very powerful creature, they're not terribly territorial. They don't mind us being close to them. Though, most predators know to leave the rhino alone because the white rhinoceros weighs over 5,000 pounds and can charge at speeds of 35 miles an hour. Now, like the rhino we saw in the woods, they have pretty terrible eyesight too, but they have incredible hearing, so if you ever see them pointing their ears towards us, they're just trying to find out who we are and what we're doing. Now, I'm going to make a stop over in front of the ones playing around in the mud there. Now, like the elephants, rhinos like to stay cool as well, but sometimes the rain is a bit much for them. So they'll go rolling around in mud pits like this. Helps to keep the rain and the bugs off. Helps to keep them cool when the sun comes back. But because of that big hump on their back, they're not quite able to roll all the way around. So that's why you'll see they are missing a lot of spots up and down their spine. I'm glad we got to see him just kind of hanging out over there. It's always fun to get to see those rhinos close to us like that. But while looking for rhinos, we're also looking for cheetahs, ostrich, zebras, and lions. And actually, I think I see a couple of cheetahs. ahead of us. Now to our left, just beyond the hill over there, back in the corner up by the bushes. So as we approach, I'll make another stop over here. Now cheetahs are by far the fastest land mammals alive. Cheetahs can sprint at speeds well over 60 miles an hour, though they can only hold their top speed for maybe a couple hundred yards or so. After that, they get awfully tired and have to cool down. Now there are 2 cheetahs back there, one over by the log and one hiding back by the bushes. Now cheetahs will only live together in small groups like this if they know and like each other very well. Usually it's siblings. Otherwise cheetahs are very solitary creatures, very solitary predators as well. And would you look at this? This in front of us is a Kopi rock, and at night we can see lions prowling around up here. During the day it can be a bit difficult to see them because lions are naturally nocturnal, but if we're going to find them anywhere on the reserve, it's going to be up on these rocks. So we'll go ahead and drive around here and see what we can see.
You know, that rock right there is perfectly shaped for them to stand and then jump into here. It's perfectly shaped for that. Am I the only one wearing a poncho? Great.
What on earth were they looking at? I mean, those are some pretty cool rocks up there. But you know what? If you want to see lions, just come back after sundown. They're going to be much more active. You might even get to hear them roaring to each other.
I mean, the way that rock is shaped, I would have...
Now, because of this slight rain, we might be able to see some warthogs down in the burrows over here. Warthogs will back into the burrows for a variety of reasons, whether that's to get out of the weather, to avoid predators, or just because they want to.
Or just because they want to.
Not seeing any in the back 3 burrows. Oh, but I do see one here. He's just hanging out down in the burrow there, watching everybody drive by. We can tell he's a male because he has those warts above his tusks. Females have very smooth faces. However, both male and female will grow tusks, and they'll both have those very prominent cheekbones. Now, over here on our left, though, is a whole bunch of ostriches and a trio of waterbuck. Now, the ostrich, like this bird very close to the road here, are some of the biggest birds in the world. However, for whatever reason, I don't think they quite understand the concept of finding shelter in the rain. They just kind of sit out in the open, and they're like, oh, gee, I wish there was something big, tall, and leafy that could stop the rain from hitting us. Oh, well, I guess we'll just sit out in the open. Now, quick reminder, don't try to get these birds' attention. They are tall enough to stick their face in the truck.
But they
Now, the waterbuck over there, shaggy brown antelope, white letter O on their rear. They like to live in areas with plenty of water. Now, I know a few of you have been out here before, but if you were here on the reserve 6 or 7 years ago, you might remember we used to have quite a few run-ins with poachers. They were after the elephants, Big Red, Little Red, for their ivory tusks. Now, don't worry, both those elephants are safe. Little Red's huge, we just call him Red. Anyway, finally ran those poachers out of here while they tore up the area here pretty bad. All of our restoration efforts since have been going into the land, getting the grass and trees to grow back, and so the area looks like it did over 20 years ago. And now that the habitat is lush again, we do have a chance of protecting many different animals over the next few decades. But for now, we mostly just see a couple of these birds. Over here on our right are the yellow-billed stork. They like to live in pairs. You'll only see them flying with large flocks of birds when they migrate. They're also much more active at night. They'll prowl around over on the hillside or over in the water there, waiting for hours for food to move close enough for them to grab. They are carnivorous, and they'll eat pretty much anything that fits in their beak. And now, friends, we are nearing the edge of the reserve, and that means we're nearing the end of our safari. I've had a wonderful time with you, though, and I hope you've had a wonderful time, too, because here on Kilimanjaro Safaris, we like to go wild. Always feel free to visit again though. No two safaris are ever the same. The animals make sure that. And a different driver can always tell you different things about these animals. Of course, my name is Larry, and Asante Sana, thanks for joining me here today. And here in Harambe we say Kwaherini. Kwaherini simply means to go well. We hope you have an adventure wherever your travels take you next. Now is a great chance to check your seats out. Please make sure you have everything and everyone you brought with you. Make sure that once you step off the truck here, you cross all the way across the yellow safety line. Now, if you're planning on putting on any rain jackets or ponchos, I recommend doing so now because these docks, because of their very cramped space, they are not rain shelters, and so we can't have anyone staying on the dock very long. Nearest rain shelters are just a little bit closer to the village. So what we're going to do here, we're going to hang